that will always take precedence. Now, here we see a typical company memo that starts its first page on company letterhead. As we look at this thumbnail of the standard memo, let's notice two overall things. First, the margins. There are 1-inch margins left and right. The second thing is the paragraphing. Notice that the memo is written in block paragraph form, which means that the paragraphs are not indented, but they are separated by one blank line. One common mistake is not using aligned columns for the headings to, from, and subject, which is standard, as is the bold-facing of these headings. Sometimes a company may prefer re or regarding. Again, you must always check company policy. Date. If there is no company style, such as centering it under the word memorandum, also place it, the date, in the column of headings. After each heading is a colon, then the item it points to. These items should also be column aligned. The subject line is one of the most important parts of your memo. Here is what you need to know. 1. It should be as specific as possible. Consider the subject line a summary in non-sentence form. For example, expense reimbursement. Okay, but that's far less effective than expense reimbursement for January 401k seminar. Capitalization. The subject line is capitalized as if it were a title of a work, which means the first and last words, no matter what they are always capitalized. All major words in between are also capitalized except for articles, a and the, and short prepositions, for, to, of. Next, begin your memo with a clear statement of purpose. It's fine to write as your first sentence, the purpose of this memorandum is to, remember the ex-Holton axiom, first be clear, then you can be clever. The two exceptions to this statement of purpose rule are, 1, if the intended reader needs background information in order to set the stage for him or her before the reader gets into the meat of the memo. And 2, if you know the reader is skeptical, hostile, or otherwise likely to disagree, then you may want to soft sell your opening a bit more. Now, for your subject heading and your purpose statement, take the time to choose an accurate purpose word. Maybe keep a list of them handy. For example, the purpose of a memo can be to review, to assess, propose, recommend, evaluate, explain, describe, outline, inform, to forecast, to authorize, to illustrate, to report, to offer, to summarize, and so on. Notice that in the body, you want to use clear subtitles or subheadings to signal the organization of the memo to the reader. All of these subtitles must be styled the same, including having the exact same spacing for all of them before and after. Notice also how short paragraphs are used. 5 to 8 sentences is the preferred business style, if not shorter, along with lists and tables when appropriate instead of full sentences. For example, instead of full sentences, why not provide a bullet list for providing steps in a procedure? The ending of the memo. End with action steps. What happens next? What do you want the reader to do? What do you promise to do? And of course, one of the primary differences between a letter and a memo is that the memo does not have a complimentary closing or signature. Well, thank you very much for coming by today for this lesson on the memo in our virtual offices. Along with the transcript to this video, you will also find a checklist that can be used as you compose and revise your memos, and I hope that you find it useful. And of course, you're always welcome right here